Golden Gate Bridge. Underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know whether I love it here or I can't take it here anymore, but this is the coldest spring I've ever had here. If you care to comment, it's your problem, not mine. I was walking around here thinking about the country I'm living in because of the drugs and the perversion and the pornography, how sick this country really is. That a man like Bernie Sanders, who's a naked, filthy, degenerate communist scumbag from the lowest levels of humanity. Are you receiving me or not? Do I have any comments here? My microphone on? Get a comment. Bernie Sanders is probably the lowest piece of human trash. Why am I thinking about that piece of shit while I'm here in one of the most beautiful places on earth? I'm so agitated over him and that horse-faced Latina piece of shit with him, Occ-Cortex, flying around on private jets that cost $15,000 an hour to give lectures on the oligarchy. Up the oligarchy, bring down the oligarchy. How in the are people this stupid? How the are people that stoned that they would go and listen to this old seltzer man, this piece of that couldn't have run a brassiere store in Queens if his mother had given it to him as an inheritance? But he can hoodwink an entire generation of drug addicts. Because let's face it, who else would believe a word that old seltzer man has to say? Who? In my day, he would have been a failed brassiere salesman. He would have been the type that walked around the apartments in the Bronx in the 40s and sold condoms door to door. And now he's peddling up the oligarchy. I just can't believe the country I'm living in. So here I come to get away from these thoughts. It's a beautiful place. It's a little too cold for me right now. I mean, I've been here since 74. I know about cold summers, but this is the coldest spring. You know, I read Black Spring by Henry Miller 40 years ago. This has been a black spring for me. Horrible, windy, cold, nasty, rainy. I guess it's the global warming we've been told about. I mean, climate change. I mean, whatever they've come up with. First, it was the ozone layer was going to blow up and we were all going to die. That didn't sell. Al Gore's worth $300 million now. The people are so stupid from the brainwashing, from the marijuana. There's almost no overcoming the stupidity, particularly of the young, lost generation. So I come out here to look at the birds. I watch the cormorants flying in formation. They have more intelligence than any Democrat I've ever met. They can still fly into the wind and go look for dinner. The Democrats don't look for dinner, they steal dinner from the more fortunate, the more hardworking. That's what Democrats do, is they steal the dinner. They're lower than a cormorant. They're lower than a cormorant's droppings on a floor. See the lone cormorant? That's me. Not even in the pack. But he's still flying into the wind. I'm in a weird state of mind, I gotta tell you. I just don't know how my country can survive a generation of drug addicts. They were raised on Adderall, other psychotropic drugs, by degenerate doctors who belong in an insane asylum. I come out here, I listen to the water. I see the algae, the kelp. I think of the people who've been here from the past. I try to think about the people who've been here in the past. Someone stood here in 1890 and looked at the kelp. Watched wooden ships come through the Golden Gate before there was a bridge. I have a painting from 1885 before there was anything here but rocks. Land's End, basically. Steamer ship coming through on sail, steam. Coming in, landing in San Francisco, walking around. Here we go, another flock of cormorants. I know all the birds of the day. I know them by name. I've talked to all of them. They're all good people. They're better people than Bernie Sanders and the entire progressive movement, or the refuse of the human condition. The refuse of the human condition. The progressive movement, communist, scumbag, jealous pieces of shit. All of them. They're all sick, fat, ugly, distorted people. I've never seen anything like it. Why are all the leftists so ugly? Can anyone explain it to me? Ugly, fat, distorted, twisted hair, twisted noses, twisted eyes, twisted ears. And we have to put up with them. In my day, they'd be in a mental asylum. You let them key a Tesla in the name of social justice? I would give them Saudi justice if I was in charge of it. I'd cut their fingers off. I would personally be glad to volunteer to cut their fingers off. Not because I care about Tesla. I care about vandals. You know, the Roman Empire lasted quite a while until it was broken in two, when it was invaded by the Vandals and the Visigoths. The Tesla vandals are the Visigoths of our time. I want to ask you a question. Has Anderson Cooper, that lying, degenerate piece of shit, covered the massacre of Hindus that was conducted by Muslims just the other day? Tourists. Do you know they made the men drop their pants to show if they were circumcised or not? That would be something that Anderson Cooper would be interested in, wouldn't he? How come he didn't cover it? It's right up his alley. The Muslims went up to the tourists and made them drop their pants. If they weren't circumcised, it meant they were Hindus and they killed them. That's a show for Anderson Cooper at CNN. It's right up his alley, isn't it? You didn't see it, though. This is not a laughing matter. I'm trying to make a point. The point being that the media destroyed America. They picked the sickest pieces of garbage they could get out of the gutters of America, and the boardrooms of America funded them. And they don't cover the reality. A black teen stabs an unarmed white teen in the heart with one thrust. How did the black teen, the innocent black teen, learn to kill with one thrust? Where did he practice? Who taught him? Did Anderson Cooper cover that degenerate piece of crap? Or Wolf Blitzer, the deep state Israeli? How does Wolf Blitzer, one of the ugliest men in the history of the media, survive this long on CNN, unless he is absolutely deep state? Explain it to me. Why would anyone watch him? He's like the seltzer man cometh. Another condom salesman on CNN, Wolf Blitzer. Well, anyway, I've had enough. I'm going to get out of here. I've had enough of this. It's too late for lunch. It's too early for dinner. It's too cold to enjoy it. I'm going to take off. I'm going to get out of the state for a while. I think the next you hear from me, I'll be in another state. Right across the bridge, in that area there called San Francisco. One of the most beautiful cities on earth when I moved here. It's why I came here. I didn't come here from Marin County. I don't particularly like grass and pollen. I came here because of the streets of San Francisco, the Italian community. Now take a look at what's coming around the bend here. Look at this. If you can't appreciate the majesty of Miss Julie, about to just sail right through us here. I'm so tired of living in fear of this up society. You have no idea. I am so tired of living in a crime-ridden, degenerate, perverted society. You have no idea. I can't take it anymore. There, look at this ship. Who's steering the ship? Progressive? Look at this. Look at this majesty. I don't know where it's going, filled with American goods. Can't be our country sending anything overseas, can it? Maybe it's a coastal freighter. I don't know. Can't be going to China here. What's he coming here for? Where's he going? I hope he goes back up the hill, because I don't want to deal with this person. I don't like his looks. What's he going, fishing? Oh, he's got binoculars. He's just a bird watcher. Let him keep his bird in his trousers. Anyway, there you got parallax view, one going in, one going out. It's called a parallax view. Beautiful to see commerce moving, coming, going. But this is not big enough to be a intercontinental freighter. This has to be a coastal freighter, so God knows where the hell it's coming from, where it's going, coming out of the Delta, going down to LA or something. Maybe up to Oregon, Seattle. Just beautiful here. Get away from people. let him watch birds. I let him keep his bird to himself. Broken old boats in this little Presidio harbor. My old pal used to play in that club over there. I haven't seen Doc in a while. See that building? Great musician friend of mine. He's fought in 5 wars. Musician, psychiatrist, pescatarian before anyone knew what the word meant. Great man. Haven't seen him in years. Used to play music in there on once in a while. Haven't kept up with him. Don't know where anyone is. Half of my friends are dead. The other half may as well be dead. I shouldn't say it, but half of them are dead. The other half should be dead. Look at this. Look at this. Hi, guys. I'm Jonathan Livingston Michael. I talk to my birds. They're the most magnificent creatures on the planet. I love all creatures, big and small, but birds are my favorite. I know you can't hear me well because of the noise and the wind. I get it. I should have brought the mic and the plug and all of that. So maybe I'll take off. It's probably a bad broadcast. I vented anyway. Can anyone hear me or not? Anyone hear any of this yet? Is it on? This is like me being on the radio in the afternoon in San Francisco at about this time. Okay, 2:58 Pacific. I would have been going on the air in about 8 minutes. I'd probably grab a coffee down the hall, have a few jokes with old Mike before I go into the control room. The stench from the woman who used to precede me. I used to have it degassed before I go in there. I told him, if she goes in there before me one more time, I'm quitting the radio business. She left a stench in that studio. You could die from it. It was worse than One-Armed Frank with the dead animal in the muffler. I don't know what was with that woman. She'd go in that studio before me on KSFO. She had a reek on her. I don't understand it. I used to tell him, you have to put her in another studio. I'm going to quit the station. I can't take it. What a reek on her. Garbage. Those days are gone. You know. So here we are. The good old days. There goes the ship. Where's she going? Up the coast? Down the coast? Don't know. Anyway, it's a great spot. I haven't been here in years. I came here to get away from the pollen. The flasher has a girlfriend. That's good. He's not a mugger, thank goodness. Okay. I can put my gun away. I'm joking. No, I'm glad he's got binoculars. That's a good sign. And he's got a girl with him, so he's not a mugger. I don't have to defend myself. No, you always got to be situationally aware. Come on, man. You got to be realistic about life. I don't know who people are. Well, I should trust the guy because he's near me. I don't know what he is. All right, well, look at these sad little sailboats here. There's an old 1890 schooner. I can see the number 2 in there. That's an old one. Not too much. Oh, no, that's I see. Okay, it's one of the recently built to look like an 1890s hull. Got it. It's a rough harbor to get in and out of. Too much wind, tide, surf. Wow. It's rough, this harbor. All right, well, I'm going to head back now. Here's Alcatraz for those of you on a tour, and in the distance is the other bridge, the Bay Bridge, and Alcatraz, the Rock. That's why I stay here. I mean, if I get out on the bay like this is almost better than having a boat. To just come here and watch tides. Look at the complexity of the motion. How many different tides and currents are meeting with each other here on these rocks. The rocks are silent testament to the ages. By the time I leave here, I will have forgotten that burning piece of sand. That piece of shit. I love cursing. I hate him. I hate him. If there was justice in the world, he'd be arrested for sedition and deported. Wonder where they could send Bernie Sanders if he was deported for sedition. Now, it did happen in the past. Emma Goldman, not Emma Lazarus. Emma Lazarus wrote the false message on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your hungry, and those yearning to be free. Yeah, well, great. Sure. They all came worked in factories, steel mills, coal mines. They lived 16 to a room. There was no welfare for them. They were suckering in the Europeans to work their asses off. That was Emma Goldman's Statue of Liberty. I mean, Emma Lazarus, sorry. Emma Goldman was a socialist who caused such a ruckus in America that they threw her out for sedition. They deported, I don't know where, Romania, who the hell knows where she went, open a knish stand in Bucharest. I don't know where she went. They kicked her out. I wish we could deport Bernie Sanders for sedition and seize his property. Man, would I be happy. Oh, would I be happy to see him go. That fetid piece of garbage. Can you imagine he spent $250,000 in the first quarter of the year on private jets to give speeches against capitalism? Only in America could people be that drugged up to believe a word that this bad says. You know, tourists. Why does everyone look so horrible? What kind of clothing do people wear? Doesn't anyone dress with clothing anymore? Look at the outfits people wear here. Look at this. Look at this. How could you look at that? Oh, God. Nobody's attractive in the Bay Area. Look at this. Look at these two. Where'd they come from? Look at this guy walking on Cyclops. How many years have they been together fighting? Oh, my God. Hi, how are you? Imagine 50 years together, pulling a wagon together. A wagon of despair. A wagon of quiet desperation. 60 years of quiet desperation together. They call that harmony and happiness. Oh, my God. The seagulls look better to me than they do. The seagulls look better than that white couple that just went by. Imagine if they get married or something for a life. Are they one of the species that they don't cheat on each other? Where is that bird? Look at these two. You see a pair like that. How do they pair off? How do seagulls find each other and say, okay, I like you. You want to hang out with me the rest of your life? Until you have a heart attack and fall out of the sky. How do animals know to, like, mate for life? And how do they hang out together? It's not like they're not attracted to another bird. Their whole life flying around, they don't see another bird they like with better feathers, better beak. I'm leaving. You'll break my heart. You'll break my beak. Look at this. No, it's beautiful to watch the seagulls. Trans gulls. There's no such thing in the animal kingdom. Only America could have invented something like that. All right, throwing on a dress, I understand. It's probably gone on since ancient times, which is why Leviticus said you shouldn't don women's clothing if you're a man. So men were doing it in ancient Israel. I mean, let's be clear. That's why the Bible was written. You can't put on your wife's clothing when she's not home. Why would the Bible have that in Leviticus? Why? Because there was no reproduction. The tribe died off. Right? It's the same reason. It's not like inherently the homosexuality was bad. It's just that if you slept with your brother-in-law instead of your wife, you wouldn't have enough children to go into the army and pay taxes to the government. So morality is often connected to economics, incidentally. I know you don't want to hear that. You'd like to hear a purist viewpoint, which is impurist in terms of reality and truth. But a lot of the rules were written to make sure the tribe grew in size, so they had enough warriors, number one, through children, and enough taxpayers. That's all. Any other questions? Presidio Yacht Club. Is that, like, to you, does that look good or gloomy or romantic? What does it look like to you? This old building from World War II, probably. I've been in there, some good nightclubs in there, a good nightclub in there where my friend would play. So there's the old bridge. There we are. My hands are like an ice cube right now. All right, yeah, all you haters, it's called a sense of humor. They don't have any sense of humor. They're stoners. They're the ones who key Teslas. Have you watched some of the video of the people keying Teslas and getting caught in their faces? How they sneak around, they think no one's looking? Have you seen these creeps? I would cut their fingers off. I would volunteer for it if there was a job position in the Trump administration The job title is cutting the fingers off Tesla vandals for the government. I would do it as a volunteer. That put an end to the key people. Listen, let me tell you something. They're all sneaks, they're degenerate, they're perverts, all of them. Who would do a thing like that? What do they hate about Musk? That he was cutting government waste and fraud and abuse? What are they, insane? Yes. A guy I know wrote a book in '05 called Liberalism is a Mental Disorder. Nobody has ever improved upon that statement. Only now it's become a criminal mental disorder. There's something nice about this driftwood down here. Maybe I should go grab a piece of driftwood. Does that look good to you? How does that look to an urbane New Yorker, driftwood? Does it look like a mess? Or does it look like it's got promising pieces of wood? I could see different statues down there that I could immediately carve up and paint. You see that one, that big log? What does that look like to you? Looks like a driftwood log, right? That's what it is, a driftwood log. But I see an animal. I see a crocodile. If I had a gallery, let's say Doc's Gallery, picture me in Monterey with a little storefront. And I have some driftwood that I paint. One of those old guys with like a driftwood store. That would be an alligator. That one, that's Rosie O'Donnell after a hysterectomy. That's Rosie O'Donnell, seen from a surgical point of view after a hysterectomy. This one, this would be called the fork in it, Bernie Sanders' forked tongue. $12 million for that one. All right, I've had my fun. Been with you for 20 minutes. How long? 22 minutes? Time to go. That's not my car. I'll show you someone else's car. It's not mine. There's no one here, really. I like it. Let me see if anyone's in the club right now. I doubt it. It's early. It's in between. It's after lunchtime, before dinner time. There's no music. Sometimes they have nice bands here. Okay. This is never going to be seen anywhere outside of YouTube, unless I ask Karen to put it on Twitter. And if I do, well, fine. You know where I found the stupidest and most vile comments of the things I put up? It's not on X, it's on Facebook. For some reason, Facebook attracts older hippies who are degenerate in their mind, and they say some of the dumbest, most vile things I've ever seen. They have no sense of humor. They don't get a joke. Nothing. They would have, like in New York in those days, you would have called them a stiff, like a crowd of stiffs. They don't laugh at anything. See this weed here? See this common weed? To the average person, it looks like a piece of lettuce, right? Well, what is it? Do you know what it is? Does anyone know what this plant is? Can you eat it? Is it edible? Is it poisonous? Because I know. Here's another one. You know what this one is? Herbalist does. It's milk thistle. So you gotta know your plants if you have to survive. Interesting. And how do they grow? How do they grow under such adverse conditions? Where do they come from? How do they propagate? Planted the seeds. Isn't it amazing what nature is? How hardy nature is, how beautiful? Well, anyway, that's why I come out to a place like this every once in a while. I guess I should do it more often. The wind is too strong now. Wow. I know you can't even hear me anymore. Okay, I think I'm going to sign off now. Let you see my great face. Is anyone schwitzing out there? Is it hot anywhere in America? The weather here really sucks. This is the windiest, coldest April I've ever spent since 1974 in the San Francisco area. April's usually windy. I give it that. This is not windy. This is a different level. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. Okay, on that note, remember what I said. If I had the power, I would nominate Bernie Sanders for sedition and deport him, seizing his assets. The nerve of that old to fly around poisoning the minds of young drug addicts. Lecturing against oligarchy while spending $15,000 an hour on a private jet with that horse face with big breasts. You know, the one with the big teeth, occasional cortex. Another one who grew up in Westchester. Our father was an architect. She's down with the Puerto Ricans in the gutter. How does people believe any of this shit? I don't get it. I have no discernment. All right, I've said all I want to say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Tell your friends about something or other, but I don't want to be bothered. Goodbye now. I got to hit the end button. It's right here. Okay.